We have a very, very important interview.
Yes.
I need everybody in Atlanta to do me a favor, make some noise, go crazy. The one and only Chris Stewart and Justin Miller.
Yes.
Yes, partners, of course, in the law firm Stewart Miller Simmons. They are on the phone. They represent the family of George Floyd. Chris, Justin, hey.
Hey, y'all.
What's going on, family?
What's
Hey,
going on
everyone.
with
Hey.
you, man? How's it going?
Man, it's beautiful up here. You know, I haven't felt this kind of energy, man, and positivity over a civil rights case ever.
This is what's so great about this. You guys have been working hard, man. I don't even think you guys have had a day off, even during COVID. You guys have shown exactly what hard work and dedication will do. Two brothers with a law firm with a historic HBCU background. Justin from Morehouse, Chris from Howard University. It's incredible to show what we can do in helping ourselves when we put our best foot forward.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I saw a video that you posted, Chris, and you were in a room. Where were you? Where was that room?
We were in the courthouse, man. I know I lost my mind and started jumping around, but I'm too old. I think I pulled a groan.
I'm going to tell you the truth. It was Justin in the back. Yeah, banging on tables. Yeah. And you guys gave each other the biggest HBCU hug I've ever seen. I would have thought y'all was on the football field, man.
That's what it felt like. Felt like we won the championship. And I was telling Chris, we got a lot of work to do still for civil rights, but it felt like we won one. We got one. And
Absolutely.
so we were just happy for that one.
This is what it sounded like.
A felony, find the defendant guilty.
That was emotional.
That was emotional, so emotional, and the beginning, it was. You could have dropped a pin in the room, Nina.
I know,
You could
I
have
watched
dropped
it.
a pin in the room, and to see Ben Crump and everybody in this room and the excitement that went there, especially when the judge made that announcement, was incredible.
Guys, I have a few questions, and a lot of people have been calling, asking, I know in the beginning there was kind of some pushback and some doubters and some skeptics about you guys teaming up with Ben Crump's team. How do you feel now in hindsight? What do you say to the people who questioned it or doubted it? How did that go?
Well, it's the same thing that, we all need to learn as a people anyway, man. We get further by working together.
Exactly.
Ben has, a huge case in the spotlight, or me and Justin will have some huge civil rights case in the spotlight. And combining those two teams, a lot of people are like, they're all used to the spotlight each. They're not going to work together. Ben's our brother. We ended up working together phenomenally. And we put egos aside because what mattered was that family. And, when we combined our massive teams, we set a record for the civil case, the largest settlement in history, and now for the criminal case. So we got to learn as a people, man, we function better together. Hating on each other or taking each other down makes no sense. When we combine, we're unstoppable.
Chris, I watched a live that you did with Sean King yesterday, and you said something really powerful. You complimented Eric Nelson and his work with the prosecution, and you said you've been on cases where you knew the prosecutor did not want to win. They had no intention of working hard. How was it working with Eric Nelson? Can you give us some insight on that?
Props to Keith Ellison and his whole team. I mean, it was one of the best prosecutions I've ever seen in my entire life. They were open to talk. Anytime we wanted to hit them up, text them, call them. He got lawyers that truly, truly wanted to win. He even brought in an outside attorney, the black attorney that y'all would see.
Yes.
He's not a prosecutor. He's a civil attorney like me and Justin. So he brought him in because he's one of the best trial attorneys up there. Everybody just wanted to win, man, and you don't get that often. You sometimes don't even get prosecutors who even want to prosecute a case.
And this is why, though, you have to have black prosecutors. You have to be in those positions, because if Keith wasn't there, we wouldn't have gotten that. If someone else was there, they may not have put in the amount of effort that Keith did. So kudos to him and his team, 100%.
We are speaking with Justin Miller, partner, and Chris Stewart, managing partner at the Stewart Miller Simmons law firm who represent George Floyd's family.
We had a listener, Jermaine, called in earlier. He wanted us to ask you a question about Maxine Waters' comments, especially with Judge Cahill making a point to, make an example out of that. How do you all feel in regards to appeals and how those comments may or may not affect that?
They're going to appeal anyway. Appeals are going to come. So, we're ready for that and we are prepared for it.
You guys had a huge victory prior to the trial even starting with the $27 million settlement. There was some criticism about the fact that the settlement came before the trial. Was there any strategy with doing that prior to the trial?
No, I mean, with the civil case, you have to, fight those battles and go by the timeline where things just happen. And, it had nothing to do with the criminal case. It had nothing to do with that. It's just that we were so far along in the civil case, it was time to get it done. And the city, was very, 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 very easy to work with and positive. It's not even like that in Atlanta. Atlanta doesn't even settle their civil cases. The families just suffer forever. And Minnesota was one of the best cities I've ever had to work with because their elected officials made changes to their police department. They wanted to resolve the civil case and not just try and play you. But it's not like that in every city. Some cities will claim to be the black Mecca, but they don't do it in reality.
Wow, that feels like a double victory in my heart that you were able to get the family a $27 million civil settlement and a guilty verdict on all accounts.
Yeah,
this was a win.
We need to duplicate that in Atlanta with all our civil rights cases.
When it was quiet, what did you think? What did you do? Did you cry? Did you pray? And I'll start with you, Chris.
I'm huge on you can't lose faith. I mean, you cannot, because once you take away somebody's faith or hope, then that's when you're just lost and you start doing anything you need to survive. You got to realize, something brighter is going to come as long as you just keep pushing. And that's just what we held on to.
And when you were quiet last night in your room alone?
Battled with myself of do I want to keep, because it's tough. Me and Justin, y'all don't even see half the stuff we got to go through to get to these points, and just had to have a talk of do I want to stop doing civil rights or do I want to keep going?
Justin, how about you?
Frank, afterwards, it really was just reflecting on what this meant for the country, for black people. I mean, really for everyone. This is just the first step, and I want everybody to understand we are not saying that we have solved police brutality, because we didn't, and we're going to have to keep fighting. This is why what Chris just said, I'm not going to let him quit. There will be no quitting. I'm just letting you know that right now. We have more work to do.
Amen.
And we got one. We got one down. And we usually don't get those. And so it's the small victories. You have to celebrate those and then move to the next thing. So, we're going to head back home in a few days. So we got to go back and keep working.
There it is.
Hey, boss, can I at least get a vacation if I can't quit?
I'll give you Sunday. You can have Sunday.
The Lord's Day.
Thank you, Master.
Yeah, there you go.
Thank you, guys. Congratulations.
Hey,
we
congratulations,
appreciate you guys.
man.
Give Gigi a big hug for us.
Appreciate it.
All right, love y'all, man.
Love you too.
96.3 WHUR sounds like Washington.